Hello and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Cleande Chiarico, and today I will continue sharing the information I've received in my last super long marathon-like session with the 25th and under hypnosis, QHHT hypnosis. And before we move forward though, I'd like to ask you to please give this video a thumbs up and also leave me a comment, because I love to hear if the stuff resonates with you. And also, I would love if you had questions that you wanted to ask on the 25th, if you let me know. I'm always looking for more information that I can get out of them. So that would definitely help. And I would love to answer some of your questions if you have some. All right, so let's get started. When I say Carolyn, I'm referring to my hypnotist. And when I say me, I'm referring to myself under hypnosis, which means it's the 25th dimension coming through. Carolyn. Was Jesus a Pleiadian? Meaning, did he incarnate here from the Pleiades, or did he come directly from the 25th? I had read this somewhere that somebody was saying that Jesus was a Pleiadian that was coming here, and so I wanted to ask this question. Me, he had been a Pleiadian. A lot of us have been Pleiadians before. He did not come here from the Pleiades. He came here from the 25th. This was not his first incarnation as Jesus, but yes, when he came as Jesus, he wasn't a Pleiadian. At the same time, somewhere else. He just incarnated, and he was Jesus here. But he had had a few incarnations on Earth because of that. I wouldn't comment on this question. This is another, a lot of my questions come from things I've heard or researched or read somewhere from, again, the New Age spirituality. And there is a lot of this where it seems that anything good we've done, anybody who's been extremely wise or a master on this planet, somehow it's either a Pleiadian or from a higher dimension that's above us, because we're such little peons. In fact, you will hear channelers who are supposedly channeling entities who are so good and bring in so much love and light, and they will say things like these. They will say that they're here to save us because we can't help ourselves, or that, they're bringing in people, or apparently even here they sent somebody in because we're such basket cases. So again, I hope that you pay attention to these messages, because when they make you feel bad, when something makes you feel bad, normally it's not the truth. If I'm learning anything from the 25th, is they never, ever, ever, ever judge. They always tell us that we are ascended masters. We're just here experiencing things, experimenting with different things. If we wanted to experience a higher level of consciousness, we would have incarnated somewhere else, but we wanted to be here. And the reason we wanted to be here is not only because in general 3D is fun, even though we're kind of screwed up this particular embodiment of the planet, or this particular game on this planet, because we've gone too far into the dark denseness. But we want to, we could stop this at any time, as we've done before. We've had our reset. So we don't need the help. I know many of us are looking for the aliens to help us, but we don't need that, okay? We're taking this down. We're doing everything ourselves. All right, so I'll keep going. Carolyn, can humanoids who already live on other planets walk into a human body on Earth and take over a body that doesn't have a soul at any time, even after birth? Me. So what happens is that, no. So that's the short answer. But let me explain this. In some ways, it looks like it could be yes in some instance, but it's different. It's a different case. We come as essence to have a life on planet Earth, and therefore we come in at birth. It's just the way that we've decided this is how we come onto this planet, right? That during this birth process, we manage to basically live with this in this body, in this particular body. Of course, as you know, we're not here all the time. We come and go. However, this body is reserved for us. Once we say that that's where we're going to incarnate, because it was available. What happens with aliens, as I mentioned, is that they have the ability to read minds. They are telepathic. So you can establish a connection with them. Really, it's mostly them establishing a connection with you. And because of that, it might appear as if sometimes you basically have an alien living inside of you that's controlling your body. Now, the body would have had to be empty. It would have had to be an NPC, no player character, just an empty body, did not have a soul. And to establish that connection. As a soul, you don't really leave room for somebody else to connect like that, or to come in, or to take over, unless that is your belief. You want to believe that that's what's happening, but then they wouldn't be happening. No alien mind is connected to a body that has a soul inside of it, because the soul protects the body. The soul contains, even when the soul is gone, the body is reserved. It only belongs to that soul until the soul decides to leave forever. And so it's not quite true that you can have just a walk-in. So the short answer is, as I said, to the fact that somebody can come in and incarnate in a body at any time, it depends. It's a no. But if it's an NPC, which means it's a shell, then technically an alien could connect to it. But again, they're not quite the same thing as a soul being embodied. It's almost like you're a radio station and you connect to a particular station and certain information comes in. You don't live as that person the whole time. The alien would have to stop living their life. They don't do this. Carolyn. Yes. So in that same vein, are there alien bodies being kept alive on a ship while they come to Earth to embody an NPC? Me. Sometimes they do, but they can't just do it forever. This is not like saying that it's a shortcut to not embodying in a baby. And all of a sudden you come in somebody's body that is 36 years old and you can stay there forever. It doesn't work that way. It's a matter of concentration. So they have technology that allows them to keep the body in stasis, but it doesn't last forever. It doesn't last a lifetime. If it were to last a lifetime, then it would be an essence that's coming to a body. You cannot have a walk-in that has the ability of an essence to keep a body reserved forever. The moment these people leave, they don't even know if they can come back. The reason I think this is so important, what they told us, is because I have a huge issue with a lot of channelers of aliens. One, they're saying here that if you're channeling an alien, it means you are an NPC. Okay, so NPCs don't really, there is no essence that is reserving the body. Now, some of these people channeling aliens, I don't think of one specific person, but in general, she actually says it. She says she was dead, basically, or her essence had left, and then this alien connected. There are a lot of reasons why I object to some of these messages that come through, because again, a lot of them are very condescending. It's like you guys are a mess and we have to save you kind of thing, which is whatever. But it's also the fact that here very clearly, they're saying that these are aliens who are now forcing their way through. It's not that we connect, we are choosing to connect. Like, for example, I am choosing to connect to the 25th, and now they're part of me, which doesn't mean that I don't even call what I do channeling. It's just that we are connected. I'm connected to my heart. And so I can trust this information. I trust this information because it comes from my heart. I'm not going to any source outside of me. I'm connecting to our highest selves, to my highest self that happens to be in the 25th dimension, just like everybody else's highest self, because that's where all our highest selves reside. Okay, so again, I'm going inside. I'm not going outside, trying to hear or where they telling me. So I'm not opening myself to anybody else coming in. So the problem that I have with this is, and this is the question that I didn't ask, I kind of already can imagine the answer. but I'm actually going to ask more clearly. And I apologize for that noise. That is my phone. I don't know why. I thought I muted it. Is because why are these aliens coming in to tell us these things? This doesn't seem very love and light to me the way that they want us to take it as, at face value. So I am very skeptical about all of this. I have listened to my fair share of channelers, alien channelers. They come across as being very nice people. So this is not to throw anybody under the bus. However, the messages are very, they might give you all this great information. All of a sudden you're like, you hear something that's a little bit off, and then you hear something else that's a little bit off. And I'm just having a really big problem with that. And that's why I wanted to ask these questions. And I'm glad basically the 25th is confirming my suspicions, which is, it's not quite as it seems. These are not like people connecting to source or to Gaia, which are sources that you can trust. There can also be ego filtering as well. But in the case of going to aliens to get information, it's almost like, I always say, it's almost like getting information. It's like if I were to call somebody in Japan, just because you're different, or because maybe the Japanese, and I'm not trying to pick on them, I love Japan, but say the Japanese think that they're superior to us because they have better food, or, their religion is not as screwed up as ours, or whatever the case might be. Maybe they're better educated, who knows? If they speak 4 languages each, I don't know. All of a sudden they get to tell us what to do because we're such helpless little, little people, little peons. This is how it comes across basically most of the time with the aliens. They're not just there to explain what is going on. They're there to say, oh, and this is what's happening because this is what you did, or this is what you need to do. The 25th always makes it very clear. We don't have to do anything. Our energy is already doing what it needs to be doing. We are not here to improve ourselves. We don't have to improve ourselves. We're here for entertainment. So it's a very different message. And I was tired of being called like a little peon by all these channelers. That's why I guess finally, I decided to connect and get my own information. All right, so Carolyn, are chakras real, and what function do they have? Me. Chakras are an idea. It's just a symbol, like to let us know to focus on certain parts of our energy. So they can be real in the sense that if you want to believe in them, they'll be real for you. You don't have to believe in them though. Again, it's just energy, right? And they're being used for us, of course, to access our energy. It's almost like a scientific way that we've given ourselves to play with energy, if that makes sense. We always have to structure everything on this planet. We always have to make it look like we studied to come up with stuff. Yeah. It's just our energy. And so are there chakras? No. Is there energy floating through our body? Absolutely. We are energy. Carolyn, are they a tool of the light or the dark? Me. They were created, and you might hear my cat in the background. They love when I do videos. Me. They were created by the light, actually. It was a way to let people know that we could play with the energy. It was almost like a leftover to let us know, hey, it's not all matter. It's not all solid, but it's harmless enough, Yeah, but it's still just a rule. I mean, it's not necessarily how it works. We're going to be so beyond this on New Earth. Even with the people who are going to hang out with the aliens, their technology, which is a mere shadow of what we will be able to do on New Earth, there's more than the stuff that we've been playing with. Carolyn, is it true that the magnetic poles are shifting or have shifted on this planet? Me. None of the physical rules really hold anymore on this planet. This is why we've had to intervene and hold it together, because everything is changing. And this is just a premise of the fact that it's all going to come down. So if this was one of the setups, that we would have these poles, and yes, if you want to say they've shifted, they're definitely not as solid as they were before. What we're seeing again is the matrix crumbling. It's not on this planet only. So it's not a physical manifestation. like you would think going from one season to the next. Is just one of the symptoms of what is happening. And I will say here, I don't know what they meant when they said that what we're seeing is the matrix crumbling and not on this planet only. So I am actually going to ask about that, and I will report back to see what's going on in the rest of the matrix. Because again, the matrix is not just what we have around our planet, it's everything that's been created by us in the 25th dimension, below the 25th dimension. Carolyn. So I know we spoke of this before. So Gaia's frequency, is it actually increasing at this time? Me. Gaia is ready. She's already her 7D self. So yes, it has increased in that sense. Carolyn. So what are the consequences to the populations of Earth right now? That the magnetic poles are shifting and that Gaia is increasing our energies. What will we see? Me. What you're seeing, besides obviously from a physical perspective, you're seeing a lot of the environmental events. You're also seeing people freaking out. That's one of the stabilization moves. That's one of the stabilization moves that are happening because of the shift in energy. That's one of the reasons why people feel so, not so much unsafe as destabilized. They don't know. It's almost like the ground is shaking under their feet. They have a really hard time getting used to all these changes happening so quickly. I am going to stop here because I really don't want these videos to get too long, because I think there is already a lot of information in small chunks. And so I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And again, if this resonated in any way with you, or even if it didn't, I would love to hear from you. And I'd like to know what you think. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.